Hey, what's going on? It's Nicky G. What do you guys think about Tanuk? This fella, he's out there making things happen. He's a space cowboy. He's a gangster of love, and he's a Kavu. Now, Kavu have a special place in my heart, man. The creature type first appeared in Invasion, which was the first box I ever bought all the way back in, must have been 2001. Wasn't a super great set, but I packed a Kavu Monarch. They were like dinosaur alligators with a couple extra limbs. They're a nice fit for space too because they kind of look a little alien to begin with. And we're going to talk about this sweet Kavu, and of course we have a budget deck for you today. But it's only for subscribers and patrons and YouTube members, and the rest of you can't look at it, so don't even try, because I can tell. I've got a crystal ball. Actually took the place of my lost ball and makes a nice little clinking sound when I jog. And goddamn, this card is cool looking. Either art treatment just looks dope. You got this green fellow with his flag out there. He's holding the pride flag, for gosh sakes. He's out there piloting a starship in the other art. Look out, brother. Damn, Kermit the Frog is getting awareness for all kinds of stuff. Absolutely amazing. Take a look at this card, Tannuk, Steadfast second. This guy's 2 red for a legendary creature, Kavu Pilot. Sounds like an Eskimo name a little bit. He's a 3/5. Other creatures you control have haste. Artifact cards and red creature cards in your hand have warp for 2 and a red. So you may cast a card from your hand for its warp cost. Exile that permanent at the beginning of the next end step. Then you may cast it from exile on a later turn. This guy reminds me quite a bit of Feldon of the Third Path. Remember this guy? Feldon has that graveyard synergy. If you build into artifacts, you got a great recursion option in red. But Feldon is inferior in a lot of ways. Feldon has to tap. Tanuk lets you reuse that ETB with the real creature once you ramp out, which is nice. Now this guy, Tanuk, he has that restriction, man. Red creatures and artifact cards only. So you stack this deck with impactful ETBs, attack triggers, damage triggers, and you're in the money, brother. Given all your other creatures' haste is pretty nuts too. Everything you put out is slapping in. I like this guy. Let's talk about some hidden gems here. And you have to ask yourself, who will save your soul, brother? Who will save your soul? That's the Coveted Jewel. 6 generic mana for an artifact. When this artifact enters, draw 3 cards. Used to love Jewel, man. Tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls attack you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gain control of this artifact. Untap it. So basically you're eliminating the downside here. You're paying 3 mana, putting it out, drawing 3 cards. You got 3 mana to work with so you can warp something else out. It's a perfect deck for the Coveted Jewel, my friends. I don't care what anybody says about me. I broke Coveted Jewel. There you go. Now we all know this card. It's a commander banger. It's been around for a while. But this is a great deck for the old choky McNeck grabber here, and that's Cursed Mirror. 2 and a red for an artifact. Tap, add 1 red. As this artifact enters, you may have it become a copy of any creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. So this comes down, copy some opponent's beater. It's basically like a nice little clone spell. Cast it from exile on a later turn. It's a sweet card for 3 mana, and a sweet card for a warp. Now you are definitely casting these spells for their warp cost, so cast triggers will go off. For example, Maelstrom Colossus, right? Air generic mana, big old artifact creature has Cascade. 3 mana, warp it out. You're getting a free whatever off the top of your library. It's pretty phenomenal, man. But we ain't done here. Check this card out, Myojin of Roaring Blades. He's the Myojin, yeah. 5 red. That's 8 mana for a legendary creature spirit. It's a 7/4. Enters with an indestructible counter if you cast it from your hand, which you are doing with warp. Remove an indestructible counter from the Myojin here. It deals 7 damage to each of up to 3 targets. Warp this guy out. You're casting it from your hand. Attack, do whatever with it. Then remove that indestructible counter and murk down some of your foes. This card's kind of a piece of crap, but not if you warp it out, brother. Now, of course, you also have some interesting cards that come in and make tokens. They expand your board, but wait, look at this, dude. Skitterbeam Battalion. 9 generic mana for an artifact creature construct. It's a 4/4. Has a little prototype for 5 mana. It's a 2/2. Has trample and haste. Pretty neat. When this creature enters, if you cast it, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. So that's 3 mana, 12 power. The tokens stick around for funsies later on. And listen, man, when is the last time you've seen a slapper like this for 34 cents? Tyrant of Discord. This is one I used in the old Felden deck and it always made everybody groan. So this is 4 red creature elemental. It's a 7/7. So that's 7 mana for a 7/7 with no evasion. Kind of junky, right? But when this guy enters, target opponent chooses a permanent they control at random, sacrifices it. If a non-land permanent is sacrificed this way, repeat this process. So eventually you're getting a land there. This is a nasty gram of a card for one of your opponents. It's mean, but listen. This isn't kindergarten romper room, alright? This is a hardcore game, dude. It's hardcore magic, brother. And may I take a moment to introduce you to one of my favorite cards. It's only like 80 cents, man. The Trumpeting Carnosaur. You get a lot of value for this guy. 4 red, creature dinosaur, trample. Commander's going to give it haste. And when it enters, discover 5. So you just cast this thing for 3 mana, dude. You're getting a 7/6 with trample out there. Absolutely phenomenal. This is one of those cards that just goes under the radar, man. Should kind of go in a lot of red decks, especially a red deck that is focused on creatures. And this is a card I was shocked to find out is a budget banger at this point in time because it used to be close to like $17. It's the Hellkite Tyrant. 4 red for a creature dragon, has flying and trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, which it will because you're giving it haste and it's got flying and trample, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game, which is kind of pie in the sky, to be honest with you. I mentioned this in a recent video, man, and this card is such a slapper. Take a look at this bad boy out there. This card was very pricey. Get in there, make some mayhem, brother. Steal those soul rings. So listen, man, you want to get this guy out on turn 3. So you get a couple mana ramp sources out there, little 2 mana rocks, get some big old flyers, you got yourself a decent budget deck. It's like Felden on steroids. Great deck for some of these undersung dragons, like the old Knoll Spine Dragon, Drakuseth, which is pretty awesome. The old Morden Dragon, not bad. Remember, all your stuff has haste. It's also a great deck for those temporary theft creatures, cards that ETB with threaten effects like Molten Primordial. This guy's a banger. You got 1 less mana for the Conquering Manticore, and that's a 5/5 beater. Looks so cool, man. What a beast, dude. Underrated banger from Rise of the Eldrazi. Get a lot of value for less than 30 cents. And I love this guy. Not quite as metal as the Manicore out there, but you got the Furbolg Flutist. This guy's 4 red, creature giant bard. It's a 4/4, has the enthralling performance. When it enters, gain control of target creature you don't control until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste and myriad until end of turn. Love this guy. It's like 20 cents, man. Now I left off some of the more expensive staples like Nalfeshni, Flaming Tyrannosaurus, because those are really pricey, man. I just made a little budget deck, but that's a direction you could definitely go in. Cast from Exile payoffs, because you're going to be casting from Exile a little later in the turn. That's something you could do for sure, but listen, check out the deck list, man. It's in the description. You could go even cheaper if you wanted to. It's a great card for a budget deck or just a nice little bracket 2 deck to slap around your friends because that's better Commander, dude. Listen, you slap them around and then you give them a little kiss on the forehead. It's very British. I always like the way the British dudes kind of talk to each other, They're like, come here, love. And then they give them a kiss right on the lips, dude. That's better Commander right there. Nikki G, signing off.